Buckle up, listeners, because we're diving headfirst into the wild world of THORChain.
Oh, yeah, things are getting pretty intense over there.
Seriously, we're talking hold on to your hats level of crypto drama. Our source material for today is, well, let's just say the title sets the stage.
Hit me with it.
It's called Rio at THORChain.
Okay, that's intriguing. Already feeling the intensity.
And it doesn't pull any punches.
Yeah.
We're talking about a $200 million black hole of toxic loans.
Yeah, this isn't just your average crypto volatility. THORChain is staring down a real existential crisis.
That's a good way to put it. So for anyone out there who might not be totally familiar with the ins and outs of THORChain, can you give us a quick rundown?
Sure. Think of it like a decentralized crypto exchange. So basically, it lets you swap different crypto assets without going through, the usual middleman, like a regular exchange.
Right. So cutting out the centralized authority. Got it.
Exactly. It's all about giving users more control, more transparency.
More power to the people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's THORChain in a nutshell. But let's talk about these toxic loans that keep popping up in the article. What exactly makes them so toxic?
Yeah, they don't really sugarcoat it, do they?
No.
Well, basically, it means THORChain lent out a whole bunch of cryptocurrency, and I'm talking a mountain of crypto that's probably not coming back.
Oof. So kind of like when a bank lends money to someone who can't pay it back.
Yeah, you can think of it like that, but on a way bigger scale. We're talking about a $200 million debt.
Yeah, that's not the kind of debt you just shrug off.
Not at all. And that brings us to RUNE, THORChain's native cryptocurrency.
Right, because a $200 million hit is going to leave a mark.
You bet it is. We've seen an 82% crash, and that's putting it mildly. RUNE is trading at levels last seen back in 2020.
Wow. So back when Bitcoin was still just a glimmer in Satoshi's eye.
Well, maybe not that far back, but you get the idea. It's a major setback.
So how is THORChain even attempting to dig themselves out of this hole?
Well, they're trying a couple of things. First, they're scrambling for cash, big time. They're saying they need between $50 and $100 million just to keep the lights on.
Yikes. That's a lot of money to raise, especially with the whole crypto market being, well,
It's not exactly a friendly fundraising environment out there right now.
Yeah, crypto winter is putting it mildly.
Totally.
Okay, so fundraising is one thing. The article also throws out this idea of a trust wallet acquisition by a company called AX1. What's the story there?
Okay, so Trust Wallet, it's a big deal in the crypto world. It's a mobile wallet, tons of users.
I've heard of it. It's pretty popular. Right?
Super popular. The thinking is maybe, just maybe, this acquisition could wipe out THORChain's debt. Maybe even bring in some fresh leadership.
Interesting. So new leadership, clean slate. But didn't you say this was a risky move?
Yeah. It's not as simple as it sounds.
Okay, so what are the risks here?
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Well, first off, you've got the whole decentralization thing.
Right. THORChain's whole philosophy is about being decentralized.
Exactly. So would they even be okay with, essentially being under someone else's thumb, even if that someone else erases their debt?
That's a good point. It kind of goes against their whole ethos, doesn't it?
Exactly. And then there's the bigger question, will buying Trust Wallet actually fix THORChain's problems? Or is this just putting a Band-Aid on a bigger issue?
Yeah, it could be like sweeping the problems under the rug.
Exactly.
So are we saying that THORChain's future is hanging by a thread here?
Pretty much. The stakes are high, and not just for THORChain either.
What do you mean?
Think about it. If RUNE goes down, and I mean all the way down, it could have a ripple effect across the whole DeFi space.
You're saying it could shake people's confidence in decentralized finance as a whole?
That's exactly what I'm saying. This could make people question the stability, the security, the whole idea of DeFi.
Okay, so the potential fallout is huge. But the article also mentions a 90-day restructuring plan. What's the game plan there?
So they're talking about renegotiating their debts, possibly selling off some assets, maybe finding some new ways to bring in money.
Okay, so a bit of belt tightening, some creative maneuvering.
Exactly. But let's be real. The details are a little fuzzy, and there's a lot that's out of their control at this point.
It sounds like a lot of ifs and maybes.
Yeah, it's a pretty precarious situation.
And, reading through all this, what really stood out to you? What surprised you the most?
Honestly, it's the founder, John Paul Thorbjornsen. He's so focused on profitability, even now.
Really?
It's almost like he thinks he can just will THORChain back to health, just by being optimistic.
Wow. So a bit of a mind over matter approach.
Yeah, something like that. But in the crypto world, hope doesn't always pay the bills.
That's a good point. You need more than just positive vibes to navigate this space.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners who might be holding Rune or just keeping an eye on DeFi in general, what should they be paying attention to right now?
I'd say the community is key here. THORChain's got a really passionate user base. What they do, how they react, especially to this trust wallet thing, that could make or break THORChain.
So the power really lies with the users.
In a way, yeah. It's a great example of how decentralized communities can flex their muscles.
Very interesting. And we'll definitely be watching how this all unfolds. It's like a real-time case study in the power and the potential pitfalls of DeFi.
Exactly. THORChain is at a crossroads right now. And honestly, what happens to them could tell us a lot about the future of DeFi as a whole.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And it's a reminder that even in the decentralized world, things can get messy.
That's for sure. There are definitely some real risks involved.
Yeah, and that brings up a big question like, what does all of this, THORChain's struggles, what does it say about DeFi right now? Is this a sign of things to come, or is THORChain just a one-off?
That's the question, isn't it? It's a tough one. Honestly, it's still too early to say for sure.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
But one thing's for sure, THORChain's situation is raising some red flags. It definitely makes you think about risk management, about governance, about how sustainable some of these DeFi models really are.
It definitely gives you pause. So much to consider. Well, this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
Anytime. It's a fascinating, if slightly terrifying, situation to watch unfold.
We'll be sure to keep our listeners updated as the saga continues. So until next time, stay informed and stay safe out there in the crypto wilds.